Well, everyone, you know Christmas is not too far away when the Premier League fixtures start coming thick and fast. We're already onto another game tomorrow, midweek, Tuesday night, Palace against Bournemouth. And I'm really starting to look forward to these Christmas games, not just because obviously lots of football over this month and obviously into January. It's not just a busy period and lots of exciting fixtures, but it's also the games that we have in December are all really winnable games. And there's a great chance if we come out of this next 6 fixtures with around 18 odd points, 15, 18 points, something like that, for maximum points, then we could be looking at a really good run at potentially sneaking into top 7, maybe top 6 if we're lucky, you know. And it's definitely in the balance. There's a large group of teams on 18 points at the moment, even those a little bit further behind. West Ham, who got that shock win against Chelsea, they're all of a sudden only 4 or 5 points off of seventh place as well. So it's all really bunched up. It's anyone's game really for that 7th spot, maybe that 6th spot. And games like this, the run we're on now, we've got all the big teams kind of done and out the way early in the season. We don't have to worry about them until midway through the second half of the season, which is great. We've got a really nice run of fixtures now with Brighton obviously coming around the corner, Watford and then Brighton, 2 big games back to back coming up soon. I'll obviously do my previews and my thoughts on that later, but today we're going to do a preview to the Brighton game tomorrow. I will be there. Of course, anyone who's going to be there at the game and I see you in and around the ground during the match, before the match, after, whatever, do come and say hi. You know, I always talk to you guys if you come and say hi and stuff like that. Don't feel, there's a couple of people commented saying, I saw you from a distance, I didn't want to disturb you or anything. Don't worry about that. I'm not fussed at all. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think there's a great chance for us now, as I mentioned at the start, to go on a little run of form here, picking up points. That Burnley win was massive, really impressive away at Burnley to get maximum points there, turning into a bogey team for Burnley right now at the moment as well. The amount of times we're winning and comfortable wins as well. It's really great to see. It's really great to see, and hopefully this can start get the ball rolling. Some consistency. Zaha looking like he's back on top form as well. 2 goals in 2, playing fantastically in both of those games against Liverpool and against Burnley as well. So if he can keep that run of form going now into these really crucial fixtures, starting to get to peak form just in time for Brighton, God, we got to beat Brighton. Obviously, I don't want to get too carried away. I want to stick to the Bournemouth game. This will be obviously a bit of a cliche, but this will be a tough test, as all the games are in the Premier League. But I do think that I'm not as worried about this game as I was as the Burnley game at the weekend, just gone away to Burnley. I think I was a lot more worried about us slipping up against Burnley than I am against Bournemouth, to be honest. I think Bournemouth play a fantastic style of football under Eddie Howe. Obviously done a fantastic job with them, unbelievable job. And some of the players they have can absolutely hurt us. I think any free kicks given away outside the box, expect Wilson to score. He's that consistent from the free kicks. Scored an absolute banger against Spurs. Scored one early in the season against Man City. I do think that is a worry for us. Set pieces again, defensively, we managed to cope with it just against Burnley. Still a couple of points where we were lucky that Burnley didn't score. Still, that is our main weak point, I'd say, this season, is defending set pieces, corners, free kicks. And when you have players like Harry Wilson over free kicks and corners for Bournemouth, similar to the way Maddison kind of dominated the set pieces against us when we lost to Leicester, and when we drew with Arsenal, every time they took a corner they looked like scoring Arsenal. It really was quite nervy. It's a bit of a running theme this season, and that is a place we're going to have to look out for, especially because Bournemouth are very good in those areas of the pitch. Obviously their main assets are the 2 up top. Normally it's Wilson and King, and they like to run in behind, and we've obviously got to be wary of that. We don't have the quickest centre backs. Of course, when we're at home, we do sit a little bit deeper, maybe like a half press, not full press, which we did against Liverpool, which I thought worked fantastically. You've got to be able to use it in the right games, of course, and I do think that that is one thing you've got to credit Roy fantastically, is how he's changed up the tactics when we played Liverpool to actually give it a go. In comparison to the Chelsea game, away to Chelsea, where it was really dire, didn't really look like we wanted to even give it a go at all. To change it up and really go for it against Liverpool and almost come away with a point, a deserved point as well. Really good to see. And hopefully he has that same sort of game management, that switch up in tactics that you need depending on opposition. Hopefully we don't go, I'm expecting us to play the same 11, and that is a little frustrating. I do like us to change up the 11 in that midfield sometimes, depending on who we're playing. But one thing you can say is it is working. You look where we are on the table, the fixtures we've got coming up. If we have good results at the end of these next 6 games, we could be looking in and around that top 6 area come Christmas and come New Year. And who can get at the halfway point of the season, who can really complain about Roy Hodgson and the way he's setting up if we're getting the points on the board at the end of the day? Here's a results business. And people worry about being entertained and being bored by it. At the end of the day, it's Palace. We're not necessarily the most entertaining team. We do like to counter-attack, and historically we are a counter-attacking team, and with flair players on the wing, even going back to Ian Wright, Mark Bright, flary players up in the forward areas has always been a bit of a theme for us. And just exciting players up top and counter-attacking football. And I do think that is a bit of in our DNA, and we are still doing that to an extent, maybe not as clinical as we used to be, but I do think that I'm not too worried about it being boring. If you're winning, it's not boring. It's not boring. If you're winning and you're getting points on the board, I'm not worried about it being boring football at the end of the day. Obviously, I think it'll be the unchanged team. I do think that Dan obviously got the knock, and he did absolutely brilliantly against Burnley, even with an injury. He had a knock for most of that game, and he still managed to keep the clean sheet, coming off for Sacco near the end of the game as well. He did fantastically well, but I do think he will miss out. Hopefully Cahill's back in, so I'm expecting Cahill to come straight back in, Kelly to stay at right back because Ward's still injured, and then the rest of the team to be exactly the same. I don't expect any rotation from Roy. Guaita got Player of the Month for November. Absolutely fantastic from him. Absolutely thoroughly deserved. Arguably the best keeper outside the top 6 right now. Very, very underrated. I'm so happy. I just think that he is... I really think that for his size, he's not the tallest keeper. The way he gives himself that presence in the box. He doesn't speak much English. He's really worked hard on his English, you can tell, and he still has the ability to communicate with defence, dictate that box, come and claim crosses, and if he doesn't claim it, he punches it clear. He's very, very decisive, and in comparison to Hennessy, who likes to flap a lot of deliveries, and he just even gives the fans nervous energy whenever he comes to claim a ball, or when a shot comes in, you're not 100% confident he's going to deal with it. Yes, he brings out good saves, but Guaita's just another level at the moment, in my opinion. Fantastic from him. And hopefully we see, as I mentioned up top, Ayew did brilliantly again on his own up front to hold up the ball and link up play. I think he's done absolutely fantastically all season to be able to do that on his own and not have people necessarily in and around him up front to work off of. So hopefully he can carry on the same. I think we can cause Bournemouth problems, especially in defence. They are quite a leaky defence, in some ways similar to us recently, although great clean sheet against Burnley. I do think there will be goals in this. I expect it to be goals from both ends because I think both teams will be going for the win here, and I do think that we will edge it. I think I'm going 3-1 Palace. I think we will. I know we haven't scored that many goals and we're not known for scoring goals, but 2 goals against Burnley at Turf Moor, tough place to go, in front of the home crowd. Midweek game, Christmas fixtures coming thick and fast, as I said. I think this is a great time to go at Bournemouth with Watford and Brighton coming up next. This is the perfect time to start continuing this form that we're starting to show into the Christmas period, and what a time to do it if we can get a win here. What a time to then carry on that good form into as I said, the next 2 fixtures, which are going to be huge. Let me know your thoughts down below, your predicted 11s and your predicted scorelines. Some really good scorelines in the comments in recent games, just like mine. I think we've had some really accurate predicted scorelines, so keep them coming thick and fast. Comment your thoughts down below on the game and how you think it will go. Always read them, and I really appreciate you guys getting involved in the comments. And also, I will be doing a quick live stream in a few hours time when the FA Cup third round draw comes out. It is one of my favourite videos to do, that short live stream for the draw, because obviously all the non-league teams that come up and all the smaller ranked teams, and obviously we enter the draw with the bigger boys as well. And it's always fun, you really want a small team or a rival. I will get into this in the live stream, but it's just my favourite time, to do a video is around the draws for the 3rd and 4th rounds of the FA Cup. I love it, and see the fixtures that come out of it. So obviously stay tuned for that. That will be very, very shortly when the draw comes out. I don't know exactly what time, but it'll be on BBC in the next couple of hours. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, come on. game tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see a few of you guys there. Fingers crossed we get the victory.